Hi students, myself Nitin from the Gate Academy. In this session, we will be having a discussion on one of the important concepts from GATE exam point of view from the subject Transportation Engineering, which is nothing but the minimum overtaking sight distance. It is also called passing sight distance. So I know there are a lot of videos available in YouTube already regarding this concept. But what I feel is a partial knowledge on this concept will definitely lead you to some wrong answers. There are a lot of calculations involving in the calculation of overtaking sight distance. So if you are not understanding exactly what is happening in each stage of this overtaking process, definitely you will be getting some wrong answers. And for this type of questions, they will not be giving options. That is, there will not be multiple choice questions. They will be numerical answer type questions. So even if you are making some simple mistakes, you will not be able to identify that. Okay, so you will be losing your 2 marks and your valuable time also. So I hope at the end of this discussion, at the end of this session, you will be understanding the concept of overtaking sight distance very thoroughly. In simple words, overtaking sight distance is nothing but the distance you require, the sight distance you require on road for the safe overtaking procedure. Okay, so just think about yourself. You are riding your vehicle on the road. So you may be riding at some higher speed, some 60, 70 or something. Okay, so whenever you are riding your vehicle on the road, definitely you will be finding some slow moving vehicle on the road. Because our roads are designed for heterogeneous traffic. There may be some slow moving auto rickshaws, some trucks may be there, right? So if you are moving at some higher speed, definitely those vehicles are going to interrupt you. So you have to overtake those vehicles, right? For that, you require some enough space in front of you or enough sight distance in front of you for the safe overtaking procedure. So that is nothing but our minimum overtaking sight distance. So what is the importance of calculating this value? So simply by hearting these equations means nothing. Why we are doing this? See, if we are not providing adequate sight distance for overtaking, what may happen? You have to follow those slow moving vehicles for a long time. So it will increase the travel time of you, right? And if you are following those slow moving vehicles for so long time, the queue will be increasing, the delay starts increasing, the level of service also will be, you will not be getting enough level of service, right? So providing minimum overtaking sight distance is very essential for the proper functioning of a highway. Let's explain the case of overtaking by using some simple example. Suppose you are riding your car on the road with a speed VA, okay? And there is a truck in front of you. I'm just taking an example. There is a truck in front of you moving at a speed of VB. So definitely the speed of truck will be slower than your speed. So what you have to do? You have to overtake that truck. But assume that I'm simply taking some values. So let it be some 90 km per hour. Okay? This is 90 km per hour and let it be some 45 km per hour. Okay, so if you are coming at 90 km per hour, you can't simply overtake that truck, right? Because there may be some other vehicles coming in the opposite direction. So you may have to wait for some time and you have to check on the other line that any vehicle is coming or not. If no vehicle is coming, then you can overtake, right? But definitely in a heterogeneous traffic, if it is a two-way road and all, definitely there may be some vehicles coming. So you have to wait till the opportunity for the safe overtaking, right? So what you will do, you may be coming at some higher speed. Simply taking some example of 90. So you are coming at 90 and you are finding some 45 km vehicle. So what you have to do? Definitely you have to slow down the speed, right? You have to slow down the vehicle and you have to follow that truck for some time. Why you are following? During that following process, you will be parallelly checking whether there is an opportunity to overtake if there is no vehicle is coming in the opposite lane, right? Now, while following that vehicle, what will be the speed of your vehicle? Definitely it will not be 90, it will be 45. So the moment you are seeing that truck, you have to slow down your vehicle. So this 90 will become 89, 88, like that, finally it will become 45. And at the same speed of that of the truck, you will be following that truck for some time, and parallelly you will be checking the opposite line for the opportunity to overtake, right? So this is the side view. I'm just drawing on the top view for the better understanding. So you are following the truck, and what you are doing in that following process, your brain will be checking whether there is an opportunity for overtaking. Say in a stopping sight distance, you may have already studied the reaction time, right? What was the reaction time in a stopping sight distance? The time which your brain is taking to understand that there is an obstruction, right? And that was 2.5 seconds as per IRC. And in that reaction time, your brain is telling you to stop the vehicle, and you are applying that vehicle, right? So in stopping sight distance, what was happening? Reaction time was 2.5 seconds in stopping sight distance. In overtaking sight distance, we take the reaction time as 2 seconds. Okay, don't get confused between stopping and overtaking process. The reaction time in stopping is 2.5 seconds. In overtaking process, it is 2 seconds. And what happens in this 2 seconds? While you are following that vehicle, your brain will take a 2 seconds time to tell you that, okay, now there is an opportunity to overtake, let's overtake. Okay, so that is the reaction time our brain is taking to understand that there is an opportunity for the safe overtaking process. So here it is 2 seconds. So in that 2 seconds, your brain will make the decision and tell you to overtake. Okay, so in that 2 seconds, your vehicle will be moving at what speed? Speed of that of the truck. Why? Because in that time you are following the vehicle. Whatever be the speed at which you were coming, during this reaction time, what you are doing? You are following the vehicle so that your speed will be that lesser speed. Okay, don't get confused here. This is one point where students are usually make mistake. Okay, so in that 2 seconds, what is happening? Maybe this is our initial position. So I am just writing it as A1. I am representing the car as A and the slow moving vehicle. In our case, it is truck as B. Okay, so this is A1. So in that reaction time of 2 seconds, this vehicle will be reached, have been reached here. That will be some A2. Okay, so what is this? What is this position from here to here? From this A1 to A2, what is happening actually? It is nothing but the distance traveled. I will write here. It is nothing but the distance traveled by this vehicle during the reaction time. Okay, what is the reaction time here? It is 2 seconds as per IRC. Okay, it is 2 seconds as per IRC. So in the question, if they are not giving, we have to take T is equal to 2 seconds. Okay, the calculation part we will discuss later after explaining the entire process. So let it be some D1. Okay, what is D1? We will discuss later. So at this moment, what is happening? Our vehicle is started overtaking. So at this position, at this time, the truck may be somewhere here. Okay, so this is our truck. I am representing the position as some B1. Okay, so the truck is there only. What we have to do now? We will start accelerating. For overtaking, we have to start accelerating. No? So we will accelerate the vehicle, and we have to change the lane. To overtake, we have to move to the other lane, right? So we will change the lane, and we will go like this, and we have to go back to our original lane, right? But whenever we are overtaking, what happens? This truck also will be moving, right? So during that time, the truck may have reached somewhere here. Okay, so simply I am representing somewhere here. So the truck may have reached here. So let it be B2, the second position. So since the truck is also moving, what this vehicle A has to do? it has to accelerate on the next lane, on the other lane, and pass this trek position and come back to the original lane. Right. So this is what is happening during overtaking. Okay. So finally it may have reached somewhere here. So what will be the position of A now? I can represent it as, this was A1, this is A2, so this is A3. Okay. So in this time from A2 to A3, what happened? From A2 to A3. What is this distance actually? It is the distance traveled during which time? From A1 to A2 it was during reaction time. Now it is called, since it is the overtaking process, we call that time as overtaking time. Okay, or the time taken for overtaking. Overtaking time, we are representing it as capital T. Okay, so let it be D2. How to calculate D2 we'll discuss later. Now, suppose this is a two-lane, no? If it is a two-way traffic, what happens? There may be some other vehicles coming in this opposite lane. That's what actually we are checking, right? So from here, what we are actually thinking, the other vehicle, the vehicle coming in the opposite direction will not be reaching at this position before we are completing the overtaking process. That's what we hope, right? So if that vehicle, so I'm just extending the road. So somewhere here, one vehicle is there, which is coming in this direction. I'm representing it as some vehicle C. Okay, it's another car which is moving at some higher speed. Okay, so that vehicle shouldn't cross this dotted line, right? If it is crossing, what happens? Definitely it will hit us. So it is not safety, right? So it is, since it is not safe, we have to make sure that that vehicle C will not cross this position, right? So what can be the maximum distance for making us safe? It can maximum reach from here to this dotted line only, right? If it is crossing that point, what happens? Then we are not safe. Okay, so we are not getting some minimum safe overtaking sight distance, right? So what can be the maximum speed it can come? So this is the distance. I'm just rubbing this stopping sight distance value. Okay, so this is the distance traveled by C during which time? During capital T. Understood? Because from here only we are starting, we are changing the lane and overtaking. So during this process, from here we are checking this vehicle C. Okay, so this vehicle shouldn't reach here before we are completing our overtaking process. Understood? So that will be some T. So I'm rubbing this also. So that will be some D3. Okay, so overtaking sight distance means, then which will be overtaking sight distance? D1 plus D2 plus D3. So we have to calculate what is D1, what is D2, what is D3. The sum of these three terms will be our minimum overtaking sight distance. Okay, so now we will see how to calculate these each terms. During reaction time, what is happening? We are moving at a speed of as that of this slow moving vehicle, right? So this is actually the time traveled by our car, the vehicle A, but now it is moving at what speed? It was 90, but now it is moving at 45, right? So this will be the speed of vehicle A, but what I should write here, now it is not VA. Even though it is the speed of vehicle A, now it is moving at a speed as that of the truck. So that speed will be VB into time. The distance equal to speed into time. So in our case, what is this VB? It is nothing but the 45 km per hour. But this T is in which unit? This is in seconds. So this speed should be in meter per second. So VB means 45 km per hour. How to convert into meter per second? By dividing 3.6. So 45 divided by 3.6, you will get around 12.5 meter per second. So that into T, if nothing is given, we have to take as 2 seconds. So that much in our case, just an example. So this will be our D1. Okay, this is the distance traveled by the vehicle A, but the speed we have to take as that of the B. Why? Because the vehicle A is now following the vehicle B. So whatever was the speed initially, 90, 100, 120, whatever it is, now it has slowed down, and now the speed is equal to that of the slow moving vehicle. That's why it is VB into T. Okay. Now D2. What is this? See, here it is moving at some constant speed. What happens here? Here it is accelerating, right? So you may have already studied in previous classes. If a vehicle is moving at an acceleration A, what is S? S will be equal to ut plus half at square, right? You may have already studied this equation. If a vehicle is traveling at an acceleration A for a time of t with an initial speed u, the distance traveled will be ut plus half at square. U means here in this here in this case, what is u? Initial speed. So according to our example, here it will be VB speed. Here also it is VB speed because it is following and making the decision, right? So initial speed will be what? It will be VB. Okay, it is actually that of the vehicle A only, but the speed is which is equal to that of the truck. That's why we are taking VB. What is the time here? Overtaking time, right? So VBT plus half AT square. Okay, so please understand why we are taking VB and VB here also, even though it is vehicle A, because now we are following that vehicle, and here it is. What is this VB? This is the initial speed of at this position. Okay, so initial speed is VB only. I can also write in some other terms also. See, this distance D2 I can split into three parts, right? See, this is one part from here to here, and this is some other part, and this is another part, right? So that distance D2 I can split into three parts. What is this first part? This is some spacing, some safe spacing, some minimum spacing we are keeping between the vehicles. See, definitely while riding on the road, if you used to ride on the road, definitely you will be keeping some safe distance between the vehicles, right? So that is nothing but this spacing. I am writing this yes. Okay, so what is this? After overtaking also, definitely after overtaking process you will keep some distance. You will keep some safe distance between you and that overtaken vehicle, right? So that will be another spacing. But see, this spacing and this spacing may not be equal, right? So I am just writing it as S1 and S2. So students, this is the point I want to highlight, because in most of the videos or materials, whatever it is, I've seen that they are simply taking S and S, assuming that both are equal, and they are giving the equations based on that assumption. But sometimes they can ask you, they can give you some different spacing also. It may not be equal always. Okay, see, think practically. Before overtaking and after overtaking, it may not be equal, right? So what happens in questions, sometimes they can give you some different values. If they are not giving any value for this spacing, then we will assume that both S1 and S2 are equal and proceed. Okay, that is some in design purpose we assume that. But in gate point of view, they can give you any questions. They can make it some complications, right? So let it be S1 and S2, and I will tell you how we have to take the equation. And finally, if you are assuming both are equal, then what will be the equation? That also we will discuss. Okay. Now, what is this middle portion? While we are overtaking the vehicle from this position A2 to A3, definitely the truck also will be moving, right? So in that time, capital T, what will be the distance traveled by this vehicle B? It will be the speed of that vehicle into the time T. What is the time here? The overtaking time. During the time at which this car is moving from A2 to A3, this truck will be moving from here to here. So it it is not accelerating, no, it is moving at constant speed. Okay, if it was accelerating, it will be VBT plus half AT square, but it is not accelerating. We are assuming that it is moving at some constant speed. That's why this term is not there. See, here also it is not accelerating, so this term will become 0. So that's why the distance is simply velocity into time. But in this case, it is accelerating, so that's why VBT plus half AT square. Okay, so now what will be the equation? VBT plus S1 plus S2. Okay, so if we are assuming that S1 and S2 are equal, then what will be the equation? VBT plus 2S. Okay, S1 and S2 are equal, which is equal to S. Why I am telling this means you have to understand this, because sometimes they will ask, they will give some two different spacings, and we are using this S1 and S2 in some other calculation also. That's why it is more important. Fine. So VBT plus 2S. How to calculate this T, how to calculate this S, that we will discuss later. Okay. Now, what will be this D3? The distance travelled by the vehicle C, which is moving at some speed Vc. Okay. Vc, in which time? During the overtaking process, that is during this capital T. So this we'll be representing in seconds. So this also should be in meter per second. Okay. So this is the overall process. So this D1 plus D2 plus D3, what we'll be getting? Our safe or minimum overtaking sight distance. Okay. So hope you understood this concept. And now there will be some twist in the questions. They may not be giving all the values directly. Sometimes they will skip some values. They will not be giving some values. So some values you have to assume. Some values you have to calculate from the given values. So that I will be giving you some points. So note down those points. You can see the points here. Speed of overtaking vehicle at the time of overtaking is equal to speed of slower moving vehicle, that we have already discussed. And the second point, if overtaking time is not given, take it as T is equal to root of 2 into S1 plus S2 by A. Now you come back to our figure. See, I already told you that we are having two equations for calculating D2. Okay. So if you are using these equations or these equations, you will be getting the same answer. Okay. But you see, this first part, VBT is common. And if these two equations will give you the same answer, which means what? This second part and this second part is equal, right? This part will be equal to this part. And if these are equal, what I can write? Half AT square will be equal to S1 plus S2. Okay, I am not taking it as 2S. General case I am taking. So S1 plus S2. Then what I will get for T? It will be T square will be 2 into S1 plus S2 by A. So T will be root of 2 into S1 plus S2 by A. Okay, so no need to by heart the equation. If you simply know these two equations, then in case if you are forgetting the equation in the examination hall, sometimes it can happen in the examination hall due to the tension and all, sometimes you may forget the equation, whether it is A by 2 into S1 plus S2 or whether it is 2 into S1 plus S2 by A, something. If any square is there or if it is square root. So in case if you are getting any confusion, don't worry. From here, you can prove like this. Okay, so this proof may take only 2 seconds to get the expression for capital T. So in case if they are not giving the value of overtaking sight distance, you have to take it as 2 into S1 plus S2 by A. So in the question, if they are not giving any value for S1 and S2, what is S1? Spacing before the overtaking. S2 is spacing after overtaking. If they are not giving any value, we can assume S1 and S2 are equal. So if S1 and S2 are equal, what it will become? 2 into S plus S, because both are equal, right? Then it will be what? S plus S will become 2S divided by A. So that's why it is become root of 4S by A. So I have seen in many lectures or in many videos in YouTube, directly they are taking T is equal to forest by A. So if you are simply by hearting this forest by A only, what you will do if they are giving S1 some spacing before overtaking and after overtaking in the question. So that's why I have taken the general case, and this forest by A is coming because we are assuming S1 and S2 are equal. Understood? So in case in the question if they are giving S1 and S2, you have to take this equation and calculate what is T. Okay. So let's go to the next point. If minimum spacing S is not given, take it as 0.7 into VB plus L. So in this case, what is S? See, if they are not giving in the equation, if they are not giving any spacing, what you have to do? We are assuming that both these S1 and S2 are equal, which is equal to S. Okay, so how to calculate that S value if they are not giving in the question? That's what we have seen now. S we are taking it as 0.7 VB plus L. This L is nothing but the average length of wheelbase or average length of vehicle. Average length of wheelbase. So it is also called average length of vehicle. So as per IRC, we generally take it as 6 meter or sometimes 6.1 meter also I have seen. But if you are taking 6 or 6.1, your value will not be changing much. Okay. So 6 meter will be this L value, which is nothing but the average length of vehicle. See, when you have to take this 6 meter, if it is not given in the question, sometimes in the question itself they will be giving the average length of vehicle is some 5 meter or 7 meter. So if they are giving any value in the question, then you have to take that value only. In case if they are not giving, then only assume that that value is equal to 6 meter. So what is this VB? It is nothing but the speed of the slow moving vehicles. See, this is in meter. This is in, actually this 0.7 is seconds. In ideal case, the reaction time is some 0.7 seconds. No need to go to that much deep. Okay. So these terms you will again study in some capacity calculations. Okay. So that portion you will understand why this 0.7. Okay. So this VB should be in meter per second because this L is also in meter. So we have to find the spacing also in meter. So this VB should be in meter. Okay. So that was the third point. And read the next point. If speed of opposite vehicle VC is not given, take VC equal to VA. So in that third part D3, in case they are not giving the value of VC, if they are not giving the speed of that vehicle C, we have to assume this VC is equal to VA. So it will be VA into T. Because we are assuming that V, the vehicle A and the vehicle C are moving at some defined speed. That's why this assumption is actually taking. In case if they are not giving the speed of C, take it as equal to that of A. So you can take VC into T is equal to VA into T. Okay. So read the next point. For one-way traffic, D3 is equal to 0 since there is no opposite vehicle. See, this is one of the important point. In case it is a one-way traffic, means what? In both lanes, they are moving in the same direction. Then there will be no vehicle in the opposite direction, which means this part will become 0. Understood? So in one-way traffic, that part will be 0. So D3 you can take it as 0. So the overtaking sight distance in case of one-way traffic will be D1 plus D2 plus D3 will not be there, it will be D1 plus D2 only. Okay, so take the last point. If speed of slow moving vehicle is not given, then take it as speed of overtaking vehicle minus 16 km per hour. So suppose in this case, if they are not giving that value 45 km per hour, what you have to do? See, here and here we have to use the speed of slow moving vehicles. So in case if they are not giving that value, instead of this, if they are not giving any value, what you have to do? We have to assume this VB as VA, which is in kilometer per hour. How much it is? 90 minus 16 kilometer per hour. So if you are taking in this example, suppose this VB they are not given, then what speed I have to take? 90 minus 16 I have to take. So this VB will become 74 kilometer per hour. Understood? So that is one of the important assumption in this calculation. If the speed of slow moving vehicle is not given. Okay. So I hope you understood the entire calculations or entire equations and all. Now we will see one previous gate questions which is asked for 5 marks. See this, you already understood that so many calculations are there, no? So it will be lengthy. So all these steps they will not be asking for 2 marks. Previously when there was a system for 5 marks, they used to ask these entire calculations. So now what they can do for 2 marks, they can ask you anyone. So maybe only this D2 only they will ask, or this any calculation, capital T or S value, anything they can ask you. Or if they are giving the value of S and T, then most of the calculation is done, right? So they can ask you in like that also. They will maybe giving the S value and T value, then they can ask you the overtaking sight distance, what will be the overtaking sight distance. Like that also they can ask. But if the entire calculation is involving, then it may not be for 2 marks. Okay. Now I am giving you a previous question which is asked for 5 marks, so that the entire concept you will be understanding better. Okay. So I am showing the question here. Let's read the question first of all. The speed of overtaking and overtaken vehicles on a highway are 85 km per hour and 70 km per hour respectively. Calculate the overtaking sight distance needed for two-way traffic. Assume the acceleration of the overtaking vehicle is 2.5 km per hour per second and the speed of the vehicle in the opposite direction as 85 km per hour. Hope you have noted down the values. So what are values they have given? They have given the speed of overtaking vehicle and overtaken vehicle. That is, let it be some for an example, we can take the truck and the same example, truck and car. So what are the values they have given? They have given it as some 85 km per hour and this as 70 km per hour. Right? So those values are in kilometer per hour. They have given some value of acceleration also. Right. Now we have to calculate the overtaking sight distance. Fine. Now what is the first procedure to calculate D1? What will be D1? The speed of the vehicle, slow moving vehicle into reaction time T. What will be this VB? Speed of the slow moving vehicle in meter per second. Don't forget that. That is another area where students used to make mistakes normally. Okay. So VB will be what? 70 km per hour. I have to convert into meter per second. Okay. Divided by 3.6 into. See, reaction time. Obviously, they are not going to give the reaction time. They are demanding you to by heart that value or understand that concept. As per IRC, it is 2 seconds. So what it will be this? It will be, you will be getting 38.89 meter. Okay. So that is my D1. So 1/3 of the calculation is done. Now the second part, D2. So this is my D2. So how to calculate that? We are having two equations, VBT plus half AT square, or you can also use VBT plus 2 into S1 plus S2. See in this question, whether they have given any spacing before overtaking and after overtaking, not given. Then what you will do? We are assuming that S1 and S2 are equal, which is equal to some S. So instead of 2 into, or instead of S1 plus S2, it will be 2S. Okay. So any equation you can use, you will be getting the same answer. Okay. But see, suppose they are giving the value of A and T also they are giving. In this question only A they have given, no? So if T also given, then you can use this equation directly, you will get the answer. In case they are giving the value of S and T, then you can use the second equation and directly you will be getting the answer. But most of the time they will not be giving all the values so that you will directly get the answer. Okay. So in case if they are not giving t or not giving s, we have already seen how to calculate that, right? So suppose I am using this equation. You can try with the other equation also, you will get the same answer. So t is there, s is there. So what will be s? 0.7 VB plus L. So 0.7, what is VB? Speed of slow moving vehicles in meter per second. So that was 70 by 3.6 plus. In the question whether they have given any value of length of vehicle or length of wheelbase? No. Whenever they are not giving, you have to assume it as 6 meter. So if you are calculating, you will get 19.61 meter. Okay. So that is the value of S. Now I have to calculate what is the value of T. So since they are not given different values of S, T will be 4s by A. That will be root of 4 into S value we have already obtained 19.61 by A value. This is another portion they can make a twist. See the question, they have given acceleration in terms of kilometer per hour per second. Okay, it should be in meter per second square, right? But they have given 2.5 kilometer per hour per second. Then what you have to do? We have to change this kilometer per hour into meter per second first. So 2.5 divided by 3.6, then it will be meter per second per second. Okay, so 2.5 divided by 3.6, you will get 0.694 meter per second square. Okay, that value only you have to substitute here. Okay, so 0.694, you will get the t value as 10.63 seconds. Okay, so we have obtained what is t, what is s. So directly substitute. See, now you may think that why we have calculated. See, suppose if you want to use this equation, okay, definitely you need a t. Okay, so for calculating this t, definitely you have to calculate what is s, because in the equation of t, s is already there. Okay, so the effort of using both the equations will be same. Understood? If you want this equation, you should know what is t and what is a. If you want to use this equation, then also you should know what is s. Okay, so the value of s is using in this equation also. So any equation you can use, you will be getting the same answer. So substituting the value for d2, what will be getting? Vb will be 70 by 3.6 into the reaction time t we have obtained 10.63 plus 2 into s value is 19.61. So you will be getting d2 as 245.91 meter. Okay, so d1 we have obtained, d2 we have obtained. See, only this d2 involves some more lengthy calculation. d3 very easy. What will be d3? Exactly like the d1 vc into, but here is reaction, instead of reaction time it is overtaking time. Okay, so d3 what it will be? vc, they have given the value of vc, right? That is 85 km per hour. So divide by 3.6 into 10 point, what you have obtained t is as 10.63. So we will be getting a value 250.98 meter. Okay, so what will be our overtaking sight distance? I am just writing it here. d1 plus d2 plus d3, d1 plus d2 plus d3, that is 38.89 plus 245.91 plus 250.98. So you will be getting a value of 535.78 meter. Okay, so if they are asking you in the exam, you will be getting a range. It will be like a numerical answer type question. So whether you take some at least 2 decimals in every calculation, at least take 2 decimals so that your answer will be more closer. Okay, so don't try to round it off in the first stage itself, because you are using all the values and again in later stages. So the value may be go out of the range. So at least take 2 decimals at least. If you are taking more decimals, more accurate value will be getting. Okay, so I hope you understood the concept. See, what is the physical significance of this answer? If I am providing a 535 meter, or 540 meter overtaking sight distance on the road, then it can function smoothly. If our overtaking sight distance is less than this value, maybe some 400 meter or 500 meter, then what happens? The vehicles will not be able to overtake smoothly, so more time you have to follow the slow moving vehicles, so you will not be getting a good level of service for the road, so the travel time will be increasing. Okay, so that is the importance of calculating overtaking sight distance. So this much space, this much sight distance, you should they should provide for the road users for the safe overtaking procedure. Okay, so hope you understood this question. This is a previous gate question, so they can ask you any part of this whole calculation for 2 marks. Okay, now I would like to share with you one more question for your better understanding of the concept. We have already seen one gate question, in that most of the calculations we have seen. I hope you understood those calculations. But we have seen some key points, right? In case if they are not giving something, we have to assume like that, right? So I'm giving you a question so that those points also we can cover in this question. Okay, so simply by hearting those concepts will not help you in the examination hall. You have to use those concepts in some questions, right? So take it, this is not a previous gate question. I was simply making a question for the better understanding of you. Okay, so let's read the question, so that all the concepts of overtaking sight distance we are covering in this session. Okay, so let's read the question. The speed of an overtaking vehicle on a one-way traffic highway is 90 km per hour. Calculate the overtaking sight distance needed. Assume the acceleration of the overtaking vehicle as 0.7 meter per second square and the minimum spacing before and after overtaking as 20 meter and 21 meter respectively. So let's see how we will do this problem. Fine. So in this case, what they have given, the speed of overtaking vehicle they have given, which is 90 km per hour, right? So I'm writing it as 90 here. Okay. Now what else they have given? The acceleration they have given. Okay. Now the spacing before overtaking and after overtaking, that also they have given 20 and 21 meter respectively. Fine. So any other value? Okay. The acceleration also they have given as 0.7 meter per second square. Fine. Now how to calculate d1? This is Vb into t. Now what is Vb? Not given in the question, but we have already seen one important point. If the speed of slow moving vehicle is not given, what you have to do? We have to assume Vb is equal to Va in kilometer per hour minus 16 kilometer per hour. Or if I am converting into meter per second, actually you will be getting something like this, 4.5 meter per second. Okay, in some material you may have seen that 4.5 also. Okay, and in standard textbook also you have seen both the values. Okay, but definitely the speed of the coming vehicle they will be giving in kilometer per hour only, right? So that's why I have given 16 only in our key point list. Okay, converting into meter per second it will be 4.5. So in this case what will be our speed of this slow moving vehicle? 90 minus 16, so 74 kilometer per hour. Understood? So the speed of slow moving vehicle we got it as 74 kilometer per hour. So here what it will be? We have to convert into meter per second into the reaction time. Obviously they are not going to give that. I have already told you it is 2 seconds. See, don't confuse between overtaking and don't make mistake. Overtaking and stopping sight distance. In stopping sight distance it is 2.5 seconds. Here it is 2 seconds. So if you are calculating, you will be getting a value of 41.11 meter. So D1 is done. Now calculate what is D2. What is D2? VBT plus half AT square, or you can use VBT plus S1 plus S2. Okay. So what is VB? We have already seen VB is how much? 74. Okay. So 74 by 3.6 into, see, capital D we don't have. So what you have to do? we have to find out what is t, right? So t will be what? Root of, see, this is why I told you initially, if you are simply mugging up 4s by a, what you will do? Since we are having two values of s, so what is the equation actually? 2 into s1 plus s2 divided by a. So it will be root of 2 into 20 plus 21 divided by acceleration. So the value of overtaking time you will get 10.82 seconds. Okay. So directly substitute here. So 10.82 plus what is s1 and s2? 20 plus 21. So d2 you will be getting a value as 263.41 meter. Fine. Now next step is what? d3. What will be d3? Vc into capital T. What is Vc here? They have not given in the question, so we have to assume that Vc equal to Va, right? So d3 will be equal to, what is Va? 90 by 3.6 into, what is T? Capital T is 10.82. You will be getting d3 as 270.5. Right? Are you getting? This will be absolutely wrong. Why? See, this is the point where most of the students are making mistake. Okay? Read the question once again carefully. They have mentioned that it is a one-way traffic. One-way traffic means what? In both the lanes, vehicle will be moving in the same direction. There will be no vehicle in the opposite direction, which means there is no part of d3. d3 will be equal to 0. Understood? This is one point. See, in the examination hall, what happens? You may not be having enough time left. So in that time only you are getting this question. You may not be thinking too much. You will, in that pace, you will be calculating d3 also, and you will take the final value. And you will not be able to realize that you have made a mistake. Why? Because they are not going to give you a numerical answer type question. They will be giving they are not going to give you the multiple choice question. Since it will be a numerical answer type, whatever value you are typing and you will go on. You will not be able to realize that you have made a mistake. Okay. So in this case, there will be no d3 because they have given that it is a one-way traffic. Okay. So in this case, our overtaking sight distance will be d1 plus d2 only. d3 will be 0 because it is a one-way traffic. So it will be 41.11 plus 263.41. You will get 304.52 meter. Okay. So if you are using that d3 also, you will get some higher values. Fine. So I hope you have understood that calculation. So in this question, we have taken few concepts like Vb is equal to Va minus 16, and if have used this value just to discuss how we will take the Vc value. See, suppose in this question they have not given that one way, they have given it is two way. Then what will be the answer? This value plus this value will be the final answer. Understood? Since they have given it is one way, we are not using that value. Okay. So I hope you understood the concept. So all the parameters or whatever way they can ask the overtaking sight distance, we have completed within these two questions. Okay, one gate question and one practice question. All the concepts regarding overtaking sight distance we have covered in this session, and I strongly believe when you are going to write the gate exam, and if you are getting the question from overtaking sight distance, definitely you will be able to score that 2 marks or 1 mark. They can ask you some theory questions as well regarding the reaction time or some equations. Okay, so 100% I believe that definitely you will be going to get that 2 marks from the question which they are going to ask from overtaking sight distance. Okay, so I hope this session was helpful for you. So please give me the feedback as in terms of likes and comments. If you are having any doubts, you can ask here. We'll be always ready and happy to help you. So once again, thanks a lot for watching the video, and I hope this session was helpful for you. Thank you.